Hi, and welcome to my living room. Hi, my name is Silvia. This is my living room, and I've invited you here today to chat about knits, crochets, sewing, anything fiber related, and also not strictly like just a lovely chat while knitting. And today I wanted to start with a little moment of gratitude because this is the second week that we get together. And I've seen that video of last week has been watched by 7 different people. And I've taken a moment to just close my eyes and imagine that those 7 people were all here sitting with me and that we were having a sort of our own little knit club. And I really felt doing with so much joy. So, if you're coming back for the second time, I'm very happy you are. And if it's the first time that you're here, welcome. I'm recording this episode on Monday, the 27th of December, which is a little bit like the first normal day, so to say, after the holidays. That for me were very lovely. We just were here home, my girlfriend and I. It was very cozy. We had this incredibly sumptuous dinner in which we made all traditional Christmas dishes but veganized. So we had, for starters, we had deviled eggs and cheese croquettes, all vegan. It was like unbelievable, so good. And like, I'm not a very creative cook per se. I love to cook if I'm following a recipe, but like, if I had to start on my own, I wouldn't really know where to start from. So I'm like just amazed by these people that can take all sorts of different ingredients and recreate in an unbelievably similar way a completely different taste. And then as a main dish, we had a Wellington, which is what I believe they call a pig in a blanket. And of course, this was also vegan with a whole variety of mushrooms and lentils and herbs and spices. And it was a triumph of flavors. And for dessert, we had fudge. It really tasted like Ferrero Rocher, unbelievable. So many nuts and chocolates. So this was just a parenthesis to say that if you're a vegan and you would like to try these recipes, maybe you're not vegan but you're just curious to see if they're really good. Or maybe you're just gonna have some vegan friend or a relative over for the holidays and you want to have something for them as well. I'm gonna link the websites where we got our recipes from so that you can take a look and give them a try. And then talking about Christmas, I've just discovered that there's this tradition apparently, which is the Christmas cast on. So, like an object that you cast on for Christmas. That's all I gathered. It is. But I thought it was lovely. And I was really in need of a new project because I'm definitely not a what they call a monogamous knitter. I love to have many different projects going on all at once because every project for me is a sort of learning experience. So like I choose them based on techniques or stitches that I would love to learn. And at the same time, I would also love to have one project that is really mindless and that I can work on when I'm just maybe tired in the evening and I just want to cozy up with my knitpa. without really thinking too much about math or doing the right stitch count or keeping track, that kind of things. So far, my mindless project was my sweater because I was knitting the back, so it was all stuck in it, stitch, and it was a very soothing knit. But I got to the point where I should start decreasing for the shoulders, so I have to pay attention to what I'm doing to a certain extent. And I was not completely relaxed anymore. So I thought this Christmas cast on was like the perfect occasion to choose a new project to start. And it's actually a crochet project. And I found the pattern for the shawl that is called the mimosa shawl that seemed so soft and full and rich in texture. And I've been dreaming of a shawl since it's gotten cold here. So it's actually a very long time. It's a long time it's cold here in Belgium because we live in a very old house. So during the night we're turning the heating off, and it's all manual, so we cannot set a timer for it to start on its own. So when we get up in the morning and we come out from under the blanket, it's like so incredibly cold. And I was dreaming of a thick, heavy shawl waiting for me on my chair in front of my bed that I can just reach for and wrap myself in. And the shawl seemed perfect. Perfect. So the shawl in the pattern is yellow. So it's called the mimosa shawl. And I was so in love because like the texture really makes you think about a full bunch of beautiful yellow mimosa that I really wanted to go and buy some yellow wool. But I also thought that I had so much wool here in the house, so maybe it was the right project to use something I have already. And then I remembered I bought this whole bunch of the wave wool from We Are Knitters. And the characteristic of this wool, I'm gonna show it to you, is that is is woven very unevenly. So you're gonna have I hope this is focusing or that you see it. It's very dark today here in Belgium, so I hope you can see it well enough. But you see there are, maybe here against the wall, there are some parts that are very thick and some parts that are very thin, which I thought would have been beautiful in adding texture, letting the wool doing most of the work. And I love, love, love this color that maybe you can't see so well, and it's a pity. But maybe I can put in a picture taken on a brighter day so you can see it. Which reminded me of the red of the leaves during autumn. And I thought that maybe this shawl, instead of reminding me of a mimosa bunch, could remind me about this beautiful carpet of red leaves that gets formed during the autumn, like with all their texture and little variations in color. So I'm super excited about this project. The only thing is that the fact that the yarn it's so uneven makes it very difficult to keep track of the stitches and like of what I'm actually crocheting. So from my mindless project, this has become another very intense project. I'm putting markers to keep track of things. There are basically as many markers as stitches. But I love the texture so much. So I'm very excited about going on with this project and show you later what's going on. And this brings me directly to Christmas presents because this year I asked for a whole bunch of knitted related items, and one of those were these stitch markers that came. I'm gonna show it to you in this lovely little box where you can keep them all organized by color. And I'm so happy I got them. I was really longing for them because so far to keep track of my stitches, my lines, I was using safety pins, which are very fine if you don't have anything else, but they were the ones with this little eye, which was a real hazard for my yarn that was very often getting trapped in, which doesn't happen with these markers. So my yarn, it's safer. And I also love that there are so many different colors because, like for example, in my project here, every pink marker symbolizes the last stitch on a side, while the blue marker symbolizes a chain stitch, and the purple one symbolizes single crochet stick. So like every marker is there for a purpose, and with their colors it's so easy to identify. And I got not one but two books. So this one is Knitting Without Tears from Elizabeth Zimmerman. It came recommended from so many of the knitters I follow and I get inspired by and I learn from, such as Andrea Maury or Roxanne. I forget her surname now. Sorry about that, Roxanne. But I will link both their channels down below if you want to check them out. Like, so informative, so full of knowledge that they're sharing. And they both recommended this book. It's very, very different from what I expected. I was expecting like a big book full of like, I don't know, different sections with stitches, how to do this, how to do that. But so far, I didn't read very much into that. But what I've read, you can see it's a very thin book to start with. And it really reads like a chat you could have with your grandma that is talking by topics and just giving you advice about all these things that she's learned in her experience as a knitter. And among other things, she's really hilarious and very cheeky, if I can say so. So far, I'm very, very happy with this book. I feel I've already learned a couple of things just from the first few pages. So I'm definitely excited to go on and see what it has in store. And the other one is the Knitter's Handy Book of Top-Down Sweaters. So I was mentioning last week that I'm designing my own sweater. So I was very excited to have a book that would go through the technical things you have to know and to keep in mind when you're designing a sweater. For example, this one is divided into the four main styles of sweaters. So you have seamless yoke, raglan or raglan. I'm not sure how you pronounce.
Raglan.
Satin sleeve or saddle shoulder, and for each one tells you which kind of measurement you should take, and a lot of very informative details to write a pattern that fits you very well. So I'm very excited about these two books. And I am very curious if you got any knitty presents and what do you think about them. I would love to know how your Christmas holidays went, if you celebrate at all. And if you don't, I hope anyway you had some lovely days and that you could enjoy the Christmas decorations that you can see from along the street and that they brought you joy, even if you don't celebrate yourself. And as usual, I would love to know which project you're working on. So that's all for today. I'm very happy you were here and I'm looking forward to see you next week. Bye.